everybody, I'm Elena Babe. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to answer a really important question I got via email from Cindy in Texas. And Cindy asked me, what is the one piece of advice you could tell everybody? A general just piece of advice. Just one thing we could all do. So before I answer this question, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button at the bottom. It really helps my channel, and I really appreciate you for doing that. And you get notifications on my next emails. So let's get into today's video. So as a psychic medium, what's the one piece of advice I could tell people in general around the entire world? That's actually a hard question to answer, but at the same time, it's the most simplest. And usually the simple things are the hardest things for people to grasp and implement. So the one piece of advice I could tell people is listen to your intuition. Listen to that gut feeling. Because not enough people do that at all. And we have all been in a circumstance where we look back on something, an event that happened in the past in our lives, and we'll be like, you know what? I knew it. I shouldn't have done that, but I did it anyways. And it screwed me over. I lost so much when I did this. I knew I shouldn't have married that person. I absolutely knew it. I knew I shouldn't have agreed to take on that project. I just knew it in my gut that I shouldn't have done it, but you did it anyways, didn't you? And you got bit in the ass for it, didn't you? Or for some of you, it was a very costly mistake. And you absolutely knew you shouldn't have done it. But you did it anyways. And why do we do it? Because we like sabotaging ourselves. Our ego loves coming in and sabotaging us. And we always think the best of everything at all times. Or there was no rationale not to do it at that time. So you did it and it bit you in the ass. So my advice to everyone is, if there's one thing you could take away, is always listen to your intuition. So what is intuition? Intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. You just know the answer immediately with no conscious reasoning, with no statistics, with no facts. You just know it instantly. It's like when you meet somebody for the first time, and within 5 seconds, you know whether you like them or not. And if you don't, you literally say to your head, I don't like you. There's just something about you. There's something about your energy. I don't like you. You've done absolutely nothing to me. Nothing for me to warrant to dislike you. You've never hurt me. We've never even had a full-fledged conversation. But there's something about you I don't like. Yeah, it's harsh. Is it me? Yeah. Is there any reasoning to it logically? No, there isn't. But that's your gut feeling. So we refer to your intuition as that gut feeling. There's just something off here. And if there's something off, you still respect the person and you just keep your distance away from them. It doesn't give you the excuse to be malicious or mean to that person. You just keep your distance. You set boundaries, right? You should always set boundaries of who's going to suck your energy, who are you going to allow to suck your energy, and who you won't. So you always set boundaries. For me personally, I keep to myself a lot. I don't like to go out in big crowds because people just suck your energy. They just bug you too much. And I don't like that feeling. I don't like what it does to me. It tires me out. So I'm very selective of where I go, who I spend time with, and who I choose to share my energy with. And I don't know, you could call that mean, call it whatever you want, I don't care, but that's just how I conserve my energy. So your intuition is that gut feeling. So if your gut feeling never steers you wrong, why don't people listen to it more? And there's actually 5 main reasons why people don't listen to their gut feeling. Number one, there could be a lot of cultural and educational influences. So think about it. If you have a PhD, are you really going to say, you know what, I just have a bad feeling about this, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to do this. And you have a PhD, you have a rational mind, you based everything on statistics, facts, and education. So sometimes it's hard to shut that off and go with your gut feeling. So cultural and educational influences kind of minimize your intuition because you're always looking for the factual aspects of it. You're always using the analytical mind, the left side of the brain, to come up with a solution or the reason, whether you should or shouldn't do something, whether you should or shouldn't buy it, or pursue a date or a relationship. You're always using the rational mind. So I always find the higher education you have, the less intuitive senses you actually use, or you don't realize you have them. The second reason people don't use their intuition, and I get this one a lot, it's the fear of the uncertainty, because you don't know how it's going to play out. Like you trust your gut feeling, but at the end of the day, you have no idea how it's going to play out, what the end is going to be. So because you have no idea, you'll tend not to use your intuition. Again, you'll go back to the rational mind and you'll look at facts, statistics, best case scenario, worst case scenario. You just won't go with your gut feeling because of that fear of uncertainty. Well, sometimes that fear of uncertainty, we're not meant to know what the end is, and you just go with your gut feeling. That's all. It's like when you're driving on the highway and you miss your cutoff. And you're like, oh man, how did I miss my cutoff? I take this cutoff every single day after work. You just weren't supposed to. You weren't supposed to. Just leave it at that. Don't try to rationale it. Don't try to figure it out. You just weren't supposed to. Take the next one. Yeah, it may have added 10 minutes to your commute home, but you don't know. Maybe it avoided a car accident down the road. Maybe it avoided a certain sequence of events that was going to head your way that you have no idea for. Just leave it alone. So fear of uncertainty is one of the reasons why people don't use the rational, intuitive. Yes. Another reason is social pressure, especially if you're intuitive. Gut feeling makes you go against what society wants you to do. So then you feel like you're going to be left out, that you're going to be blackballed, that you're going to, have the red X on you. And boy, did we see a lot of that in the past 3 years, haven't we? Societal pressure of doing certain things, being certain things. And if you went against that norm, wow. That was a very interesting time, and it still is, actually. So societal pressure, a lot of people don't want to be different. They don't have the confidence to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to do it that way. Just my gut feeling says not to do it that way. Even though all of you and your statistics and your facts want me to go, I'm not going to go that way. And that's okay. You do what's best for you and let everybody else do what's best for them. We do not judge. We just take care of ourselves. End of story. The fourth thing is because they overemphasize the rational mind too much. They always have to use reasoning, and your reasoning comes from the conscious mind, not the subconscious mind. They always have to have a reason for that solution. They have to have a reason for the end of their decision. And it really frustrates them when you say, because I just don't want to. They're like, why, Elena? Why don't you want to go on this weekend trip in the winter? Because I just don't want to. I just have a bad feeling about it. And that irritates people because there's no reasoning for it to work with that answer, right? It's like when your mother used to say to you as a kid, Mom, why can't I do that? Because I said so. There was no reasoning to you, and it pissed you off as a kid, didn't it? But use it now in your adult life. Just listen to that gut feeling, because your gut feeling never steers you wrong. And the fifth reason why people don't use their intuition more is because they don't even realize they have intuition, or they don't know how to recognize it or distinguish it from other emotions. So they actually don't know how to build it and see it or feel it. So they don't know how to use it. And that's one of what I do teach people in my coaching program is how do you get in tune with your intuition? So it's not mixed up with other feelings, or is it just mixed up with fear and your ego preventing you from doing something in your life? How do you distinguish it? So I probably say that's the number one reason why people don't use their intuition, because they don't know how to use their intuition. They're not in tune with it. But we all have it, that gut feeling. It's more people have to pay attention to it. And it's just an important reminder, your intuition is not the end all be all of everything. It's a tool in your toolbox to use. You still need the rational mind, absolutely. Intuition is a very powerful tool, but that's all it is. It's a tool. It's not the end all be all in all everything. So I want you to really understand that. Use it wisely, use it smartly, and know when you have to use it. Don't use it carelessly, and don't use it for bad, for negative aspects, because I'll bite you back in the ass. That's all I have to say to that. So I hope I answered your question with the one thing. My one advice for everybody is start using your intuition. And if you want to know how to use your intuition more or have a one-on-one conversation about it, click on the calendar link below and book a free 15-minute one-on-one call with me. And we'll get talking and we'll see how intuition shows up in your life. What are the feelings you experience when your intuition is kicking in? Because everybody feels it differently. Some people get that gut feeling. Some people get an ache in the back of their neck. Some people get different feelings. So let's identify what yours is. Anyways, everybody have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.